I just want to first say, apologize. I guess I didn't bring any of my kids. They have had all the media attention they need over the last 10 or 12 days. Okay, so I decided just come do this by myself.
First off, Coach, just talk about the emotion coming into this game. I know that obviously you had a long road here.
Oh, it was great. You know, it was a great experience for our kids. They were excited to be here. They did a fantastic job last week focusing in and qualifying for this round. And, you know, I thought we went out and played, you know, hard like we always do. You know, just a great experience for our kids.
Coach, you know, win or lose, how much did getting to this round mean for the town? Just in the emotional process.
Well, I think you know, it's big. I mean, you know, it was a focal point that people could look at through some of the other things that we were going through. And you know, football was our constant, you know, for the last 13 days. So, you know, that was really, you know, I think our kids represented, you know, really the whole area, just not our community well, and you know, did a good job today, and hopefully, you know, it was a good experience for everybody in the community also.
Coach, first off, congrats on a great season, and secondly, what did you tell these seniors in the last game that they were going to play in high school football?
Well, I mean, you know, they just wanted to go out and play as hard as they could, and that's what they did tonight. You know, I haven't got a chance really to meet with them after the game, but you know, they're my babies. They were 8th graders when I took the job there. First, you know, junior high group, the seniors and the juniors, and you know, they've done a phenomenal job as far as everything we've ever asked of them programmatically, and it's paid off for them to get to this point.
So this is the second state title appearance in school history. What type of legacy do you think this team is going to leave?
Well, I think, you know, it's just the legacy of, you know, how we built our program. They work hard. They come out every week and play football, you know, sort of old school way, hard nosed, get after it. You know, I think it represents our community well. We're a blue collar community, you know, and hopefully, you know, our kids learn from that, you know, you work hard enough, you're rewarded at the end, and they sure were rewarded by getting here.
In the second,
part of that old school philosophy was hitting it pretty hard. You do that early in the game, particularly against colleges where you got
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how you approached him because he was obviously...
Well, I mean, you know, we tried to give more than one person to the ball, but you know, when you saw in the second half, 4 or 5 people didn't matter at times. You know, phenomenal athlete, but just a great football player. I mean, watching tape on the kid, just not his physical attributes, but his leadership, and also you could see, you know, his mental understanding of the game's superior to a lot of high school kids. But you know, I thought we did a nice job on him early. Sort of got out. I think we started taking some chances in the second half as far as our kids just not really reading their keys. You know, everybody wanted to make the big play, and they made us pay a couple of times. But you know, we just got a couple of times we got the field flipped on us, and that really hurt us early. And the first touchdown pass, Corley made a great defensive play on it, you know, and batted it up, but it still went in the receiver's hands. But you know, defensively, we tried to combat it, you know, with our physicality as much as possible. They just hit too many big plays on us.
It seemed like when you guys did get stopped on the 4th down, because you had a response for them several times, it seemed like that was kind of when it was all things tough to catch up with it.
Right, yeah. And that's the thing. I thought all night our kids responded well to adversity as it came along, and you know, we were able to put some drives together and be really in good position coming out at halftime, and then still responded. You know, after we didn't do anything that first series, and they were able to put a touchdown on the board, and then we just went right straight back down and got back in the game. But that's the character of our kids. You know, that they don't have the word quit in their vocabulary, and I was really proud of them today.
you can think of one memory from this season that will stand out for you, what would that be?
One memory, that's tough. You know, we've been through a lot. You know, from the non-district schedule, you know, through the playoff bracket, and then you know the phenomenal response of the entire state of Texas last week with the situation we were in at Shotwell Stadium. But you know, really, it's just, you know, my kids more than anything. You know, Darian, White, Clayton, and Rowe, and all those senior kids that have just, like I said before, literally given me everything I've ever asked of them. And you know, when I got there, I told them, if you'll do what I ask of you, you know, we'll get to the finals someday. And, you know, they believed in an old guy and, you know, have done everything we could ask and more.
How do you want this group to be remembered? How are you going to remember this group?
Personally, I'm going to remember them as just that, hard-nosed kids that, you know, worked their way to the state championship game. You know, and that's been a process for years and since they were in junior high. But then the kids that have built this program since I've been there before them, you know, they're going to be the ones that the first group that got to the pinnacle, I guess I'd say, you know, at this point programmatically. They're just fun. That's the biggest thing I remember. They're just fun every day.
Coach, I apologize, I'm already asked you this. How do you kind of talk about the last few weeks, just the emotion, sort of centered around your program, your town, and the ups and downs, and like you mentioned, the wave of support you guys got, not just surrounding town, but essentially, you know, everywhere.
Right. Well, you know, it's been overwhelming. To me, it's been reassuring, you know, basically in the state of the human condition in our country, you know, where some people doubt that sometimes, and just to see how much good is in the world, you know, because I think we focus on the negative sometimes, and the response that we've gotten, you know, statewide has been just amazing. And you know, I know especially me, being an old guy, you know, we gripe about the young people and stuff, but I'm going to tell you, our country and our world will be just fine with those people. You know, I was sitting that Saturday night after all that happened with a laptop in my lap, watching film on Wellington, and I get this email popped up from the cheer captain at Abilene High, and you know, she emailed me, and for a kid that age to have that kind of depth, you know, and I emailed her immediately back and I said, hey, way to go, I'm trying to get ready for a semifinal game. You got this old coach sitting in a recliner with tears running down his face, you know, but she, you know, to just see young people react like that, of course, that's why my wife and I have always done what we do for a living, and just to see the character in our youth, you know, it is so reassuring, and just all over, you know, all over the state of Texas. It's just been amazing. Thank you all, appreciate it.
We have Coach Jeff Kosowski from Bremond. Coach, can you introduce your student athletes, please?
This is Josh White. I don't know if you know Rashad, but Rashad Fall and Tanner Reedus.
Open it up for questions.
I had a question for Rashad. You know, they did a good job of trying to contain you early on. At one point, they had you 18 carries for 61 yards in a game before you just really exploded. What changed? What did you see different that allowed you to, you know, change that game around after being held to 61 yards and 18 carries?
Well, they had me bottled up at first, but we kind of opened it up by giving it to the running back and trying to run outside, and that just opened up the holes up in the middle. So, I mean, I got to give credit to him. You know, they had to mentally watch him and not just watch me, so it allowed me to make my plays.
Coach, the media has been trying to get you to comment on this streak and all these wins consecutively and these state titles. Can we finally get a soundbite from you other than I don't want to talk about it?
Well, there's always next year. These guys sitting right here, I can't say enough about them, and they're not all even here, the guys we started with as sophomores, but the nucleus of them are here, and you know, as little sophomores, you know, our team kind of changed each year in some way, through injury, through a couple of them moved away, and all I can say is we just kept finding a way to evolve, and a player here and there would step up, and we just win. You know, as far as the streak, you know, we've always approached it as a game at a time, and I'm assuming since the streak's still alive, we'll continue to do that. But these guys right here, the whole senior class and the whole team, I'm just so proud of them for being where we're at.
Rashad, what were your expectations? What did you want to accomplish in the game? Did you get there?
I just wanted to win. Honestly, my stats didn't matter. Whether I got this didn't matter. I just wanted to win, you know, and keeping that streak alive for not only me, my teammates, and the community, because without them, this wouldn't be possible. So.
Coach, how much have you seen that option offense that Iraan have, and if so, how did you, if you haven't seen it much, how did you kind of game plan for it?
Well, it's hard to game plan for in practice because Nobody runs it anymore, for one thing. And it's there, you know, Iraan was very physical, and we knew that coming in. We were going to have to match that physicality. You know, in the first half, you know, we came in at halftime, and, you know, at halftime we were going to have to come out and either set the tone, or they were going to set the tone on us as far as being physical, and I think we answered the bell.
You talk about Joe Williams playing in the game today and how what a contributor, maybe some of you other guys want to, you know, chime in on that.
Right, he was big. You know, he's a senior, and he went out early this year with that knee injury. You know, he's been doing rehab for about 2.5 months and has been doing really well. And you know, he came to me and asked if he wanted to play, and I was pretty apprehensive about that. But it's a senior. His parents were adamant that they wanted him to play, and you know, I couldn't keep him out if he's a senior and he wanted to come in here and contribute. And you know, that first one he put on the board was big for us.
Coach, can you put into words what Rashad has meant, not just for this team, but for your program over 3 years?
Well, in Bremond, long before me or Rashad or any of these guys has come along, there's been a tradition that's been established forever. Rashad made winning a whole lot easier. That's a given. Now, the unsung heroes in all this are his offensive linemen. This guy right over here, you know, Tanner has been to passing camps for 2 years in a row and catching passes in the summer, and been so excited about getting to catch passes from Rashad. And then the beginning of this year, we were struggling a little bit. We were winning, so it looked good to y'all, but we were struggling a little bit. Rashad wasn't getting loose like he normally did. And so we called Tanner in about week 3 or so, and third game. He was smiling when he came in there, and he knew what we were fixing to ask him to do. And I'm going to tell you, he's one heck of a guard.
Rashad, what's it like breaking Middle Kyle Murray's record and never losing a high school football game?
I mean, it's amazing. To cement my legacy in Texas high school football history, it's just an amazing feeling, man. And it's great, you know, that people could recognize me for that. But like I say every time, I wouldn't be here without these guys and my coach and this community that's been behind me since day one.
What do you think you're going to do when you get to A&M and you lose your first game?
I hope not. Hey, hopefully I can carry the streak into A&M, man.
How were you before the game? Were you nervous at this point at all, or what was your mind like?
I don't get nervous anymore. I mean, at this point, you know, it's just all confidence, but you can't be too cocky. You kind of just got to be humble. But, you know, I just came into this game confidence, being that I've been here before with this group of guys, you know, and we just all had the confidence as a whole, and it helped us get the win.
Rashad, what does this particular win mean to you to be able to cap off your career with state time?
It means a lot. Like you said, we overcame adversity from guys getting injured, guys moving. You know, we had to make a lot of transitions on offense and the defense. So, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. Not only that, but it being my senior year and my last game in a Bremond uniform, I mean, it was a great feeling.
Josh, you guys had some conversions when the game was still pretty close. I mean, I know you had like passes across the middle. It looked like those were just almost wide open when you caught them. I mean, can you tell me about the plays and how they set up?
Oh, well, we knew coming into the game that our coaches had drawn up a really good game plan for us, getting our receivers spread out wide and being able to hit their holes across the middle. The play action really helped a lot. We really worked that hard in practice, and we knew what to expect whenever he came in on the passes.
I think he just nailed it. I mean, third downs were a big part of this game today. Iraan got y'all in a lot of third down and longs, and 3rd and 6s and 7s. How were you able to constantly convert those third downs? And do you think that was a big part of you winning today?
Is that a question for Josh?
Both of y'all.
Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, it doesn't matter where the ball's at. If it's third down, you've got to convert. You've got to find a way. And then our coaches, they came up with really good play calls that would counter the defense's play call. And then we just executed them as good as we knew how to.
Any final questions?
I got one more for Tanner. Since you were a wide receiver, you turned into lineman. Are you the guy that loaned the knee brace to JoJo on the deals? Did you got any brace?
I had my own knee brace, but no, he needed to wear a knee brace first. I had mine. Okay. Wait. It was his knee. Oh, it was his? Yeah. Hey, it was Eric's. I didn't know whose it was. I didn't know whose it was.
When was that decision made on to Like, what did you?
JoJo came, he had been working on his mother for a while, and his mother was, you could tell she was probably gonna let him. They were a little bit reserved on it, but, you know, we've been going to rehab with him, and Dr. Euro called him a 5%er. You know, that 95% of the people who go and have ACL surgery don't look like JoJo, but of course, nobody runs like JoJo either, so I just think his body allowed him to heal a lot better. And, you know, his mother was a little apprehensive, but JoJo came to me on Monday this week, and I knew it was brewing, but he came to me and asked, and I told him, I said, JoJo, you know, I'll respect that, but your parents are both going to have to be okay with that. And so they made the decision on Monday to sign off and let him play his final high school football game.
Apparently he heals fast, too.
He's a freak of nature.